Yeah, so I think obviously I did my green belt and black belt through sort of PMI. So I did my black belt in 2017. I mean, since then I've moved into a program management role, so I'm not always directly involved in the improvement work as much as I used to be. So I think for me, it was a case of just looking for an opportunity to learn more about leading those sort of bigger programs of work when you've got multiple improvement initiatives. And I guess also looking forward, ahead to future leadership roles. I was keen to learn more about things like strategy deployment and how to influence and manage stakeholders. So I think that's what it drove me to go and look at the PMI MBB course. Of course, because I've done so much work with you guys in the past, it was the sort of first port of call. I think for me, you need to have the balance, because it's not all about being, a master of stats, and equally it's not all about being really, really good with people. And so for me, I think it's been really useful to sort of break it up across all those different modules and learn how the two interlink. I've had many examples in the past where I've gone far too heavy on the stats. Right after I did my black belt, quite a few occasions of missing the boat in terms of bringing the person into it and simplifying things. So I think the key is making all of this simple and easy to understand for sort of all levels of the organisation. So for me, it's been really useful to sort of knit it together. And I think the first thing is to learn the basics of the statistics and use them, and then the real task, I suppose, is managing to take that into something that's really easy to digest when you've got a really busy senior leader who just needs to know the answer and understand the next steps, really. Yeah, so I kind of started the course in the middle of a deployment, so I've had to be quite creative in how I've deployed things, really. So I've focused quite heavily on the coaching side of things and also the influencing modules, because they're very relevant to what I'm doing just now. And I've also been able to use some of the advanced statistics and some sort of process confirmation work and some benefits realization activity. So that's been really good, and I'm raring to go with the sort of transformation masterclass and the strategy cascade, because those to me were the ones I was looking forward to the most, and I think I'm just teeing up my next activity to go and put that into practice. I think I'm just trying to look at what's the next big piece, the next big program of work that I'll be able to go and lead, but do it in a bit of a different way than I've done previously, using the new skills that I've learned. So I'm still trying to tee up what that might look like. But I think the skills that I've been able to learn over the last year, I'm ready to put into practice, really. I was sceptical, but I must say, I think the way in which PMI have used the sort of Zoom technology really helped. I think there's a bit of self-discipline involved. You need to be prepared to shut absolutely everything off and be focused on the task at hand. But when you've got it up on a big monitor, it really does feel like you're in the room. And I think the use of some of the sort of tools, the Miro boards, and also just the sort of breakout rooms meant that the activities that you would have previously done in a room with and collaborated with other people, you can really achieve almost absolutely everything in the same way. So I would say pleasantly surprised, and I did 6 of my 7 modules sort of virtually, and I feel like I was able to achieve the same level of learning as I would have in the classroom, but I also didn't have to put up with airports and hotels, so that's it saves money for the company, and also it's much less upheaval from a personal perspective. So yeah, very skeptical at the start, voiced in the second course before we did it, but very pleasantly surprised. I've worked with PMI for a few years, and I've probably met and worked with most of the team, and there's a real wide range of experience and different industry knowledge. So I think by doing the MBB, you're getting little bits of all those different experiences, which you can then take and use it for yourself, to in terms of how you want to deploy things. So I think that's really, really helpful and useful. I think the way in which the course is structured as well is great. Previously I've done black belt and green belt over 2-week blocks. or 2 1 week blocks, having the sort of 2 to 3 day modules sort of scattered across a year is really useful. It's not it's not much upheavals, and you don't have too much of an impact on work life and home life because you're not taking a full week out. So I think, and I guess what you're learning to be is a much more rounded and skilled individual, and it's not just in one area. You've got, you're doing strategy cascade, but you're also looking at coaching. You're learning about really, advanced statistics, but you're also learning on how you can influence leaders and all people and at all levels of the organization. So I think for me, that's my recommendation, really. That we put off virtually. There's a really great team, lots of experience, and I think you can come out of it feeling that you've learned a lot of very different and varied skills.